You're listening to the Life Coaching Secrets Podcast, episode number 24. Did you know that life coaches are needed now more than ever? I'm Frank Macri, founder of Thriving Coach Academy. I've trained over 1,000 coaches and helped them launch their own successful coaching businesses. If you want to make an incredible income and impact as a coach and have a lot of fun doing it, I'll show you exactly how to get it done. This is Life Coaching Secrets. What's up, coaches? In this episode, I'm going to talk about million-dollar thoughts, meaning thoughts that are going to help you make lots and lots of money in your coaching business. I think you're going to love this one. I'm also going to talk about $0 thoughts, which are thoughts that are secretly repelling clients from your coaching business, especially if you are just getting started. Now, when I was beginning my business years ago, and getting it to the point where it is now, one of the things I realized is that there was not one special strategy that really helped my business take off. It was all a result of the thought work that I received on my brain over the years. It's a result of all of the thoughts that I've been able to get out of my brain and the thoughts that I chose to keep instead. So a thought is simply a sentence that our brain produces. And we can choose in any given moment if we want to believe a thought, if we want to not believe a thought, if we want to keep it, if we want to let it go. And this is such important work to do because our thoughts produce every result we have in our life. You might be wondering, how is that possible? How could your thinking produce results? So let me break it down. Anytime you have a thought, which is just a sentence in your brain, when you have a thought about something, when you have a thought about you, when you have a thought about other people, whatever it might be, you will feel an emotion. Thoughts produce emotions. Your emotions are what inspire you to take action. And all the actions you take leave you with the results that you have in your life. So if there's any result that you don't have in your life, it doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with you or that there's anything wrong with the system or the planet. It just means that you have some unexamined thoughts that require some work. So this is so key to understand because your business results are created from your mind. This is one of my core business philosophies. Your business results are created from your mind, not from any particular strategy that you have or plan. It all starts from your mind. So the current income that you have in your coaching business, it is a reflection of your level of thinking about your coaching business. Right? You cannot grow a business unless you grow the leader running it. So when you're getting started, and also at points when you're looking to scale your business, those are the times where you've got to do more thought work than before because it's going to require you up-level your way of thinking. Now, when a lot of coaches start out their business, they just haphazardly start trying things. They start posting online, they start just talking to people about their business, but they don't really have any belief in themselves as they're doing it. They lack certainty. They have lots of fear and anxiety, and they're trying to figure out what the best plan is. But no strategy or plan will work if you have $0 thoughts that are running the show, right? What a lot of coaches forget is to look at their thinking. So you cannot have a $1 million coaching business if you have a lot of $0 thoughts behind it. And this is why in the academy, we give weekly coaching to our coaches that they could get on any part of their business that they're feeling stuck on. We give weekly coaching. They can show up as much as they want to get coaching. It's like making sure that the engine's running smoothly every single week. So if there's any bumps in the road, we make sure that we're available. It is so key that coaches have their own coaches to support them as they're looking to grow their business. So as I go into the 5 categories of thoughts you can have about your business, I want to talk about a concept that I created called thoughts before results. Thoughts before results. So when you pursue any new goal in life, you're not going to have the result of that goal yet. So you might find yourself getting stuck because you might struggle believing in you getting that result because you don't have it yet. But it doesn't have to be that way. You can have thoughts about your success before even experiencing that success yet. In fact, it is essential that you have belief in yourself when you're getting started and when you don't have any evidence of that, because it's the only thing that's available to you, right? When you're getting started, you don't have the results yet. You don't have the money in the business. All that you have to work with is your mind. So the reason that someone often stays stuck with their coaching business is because they're waiting to get a result before they can start having a certain belief. They're waiting to get clients before they can start believing in themselves. They're waiting to get people to pay them before they can start knowing that what they have to offer is valuable. But what I want you to consider from this episode is that you can choose to have the thoughts now that will serve you. And when you do that, it's going to propel you forward. It's going to propel you towards actually getting the result you want. So you have thoughts before results, and then your thoughts create the results. So let me explain it to you this way. If we have two coaches and they're both starting out, they both have earned zero in their business, and we have Coach A and Coach B. So Coach A believes, I'm a bad coach because I don't have any clients yet. And Coach B believes, I have so much to offer. Which coach do you think is going to get farther along in their business? Coach B, right? The one who believes in themselves, even though they don't have the results there yet. They don't need to have the results to have the belief in themselves. So this is why thought work is key. It's all that you have to work with to move you forward since the results aren't there yet. Once you start getting the results, you still need to do the thought work. You still got to believe that you can continue to produce those results, right? So no matter what path you take, you cannot avoid the thought work that is required for you to grow your business. Right? The more that you start believing the $1 million thoughts that I'm going to share with you, the more you're going to start seeing the evidence of it, and you're going to just be taking actions that are going to blow you away and get clients just showing up ready to work with you. So just consider right now as well, if you already earned $1 million in your coaching business, let's just say that that's done. If you earned $1 million, what would you start believing that you're not believing right now? What would you believe about you? What would you believe about money? What would you believe about all the effort that you put in? What would you believe about clients out in the world and the process of finding them? Really sit with that. If you already earned $1 million in your business, and if it's too hard of a stretch for you to think about $1 million, you can just start with $10,000 or $100,000. Let's say that that's already done. You've earned it. What beliefs would you have then? Now, I want you to know those beliefs because you can just choose to have those beliefs now. Those are the beliefs that you need to have now, so that way you move yourself towards the result. It's like having a little conversation with your future self and getting to know them and bringing them into the present and letting them guide you forward. Nothing is stopping you from believing any of those thoughts right now. All right, so let's get into it. Here we go. I'm going to share with you the 5 categories, and I'm going to share what $0 thinking sounds like in each category and what $1 million thinking sounds like in each category. So the 5 categories that you're going to have thoughts about in your business. The first one is you, your thoughts about you. The second category is your thoughts about finding clients or marketing yourself. The third category is your thoughts about people, your thoughts about other people. The fourth category is about your effort, the effort that you put in. And the fifth category is money, your thoughts about money. Here we go. Let's go into it. So let's start with your thoughts about you. $0 thinking sounds like having the thoughts, I'm a bad coach, or I'm just a new coach, or I'm just a baby coach. I'm just figuring it out. Or here's another sneaky one. I'm not a real professional. And then there's always having the thought, I'm just not ready yet. Those series of thoughts, not going to work for you. Not going to help bring clients in. So here's the thing. Let's go into some $1 million thinking that you can have about yourself. You don't have to believe that you are the best coach on the planet, but you can start with having thoughts like, I'm the right coach for the people I meet. I'm the right coach for them. I have so much to offer. I have my own back in this. I've got this. I know that I can help people. And here's another one to have. I am a life coach. I am a life coach. Not questioning it like I'm a life coach or I'm kind of a life coach or I'm a new coach. Just owning I am a life coach, period. So what thoughts can you have about you that are going to serve you? That's the first category. Second category is your thoughts about finding clients or marketing yourself. So $0 thoughts sound like, I don't know where to find clients, or finding clients is hard, it's confusing, I don't really know what I'm doing, I'm just figuring all of this out. These thoughts are going to take away money from you. It's going to just throw it out the window. So here's what you can consider thinking instead. Clients are just people. I know where to find people. So therefore, finding clients is simple. Finding clients is fun. Clients are everywhere, right? Now, your brain might really be pushing back when you're listening to this. You might think, well, I don't know how to find clients because I haven't found clients yet. So you've got to challenge your thinking. You've really got to stretch yourself and think, well, what if it were true that finding clients is simple, that finding clients is easy? What if that were true? Right? You don't have to have lots of clients in order to start believing that. You can start believing finding clients is simple right now, and that thought is going to generate so much more momentum, so many more action steps that are going to move you forward. And I'm going to share at the end of this what actions look like when you're coming from $0 thinking and when you're coming at your business from $1 million thinking. So those are some thoughts you can have about marketing yourself and finding clients. Now let's talk about your thoughts about people. It's so important to think, what assumptions are you making about people ahead of time before they even hire you? What are the assumptions you're making about people and the opinions they may have about you? So $0 thinking might sound like, no one wants what I have to offer. No one's going to hire me. No one's going to afford me. Or here's another big one. People's problems are probably going to be too big or too complicated for me to coach them on. Their problems are just too big. These are all just assumptions that you are having about people ahead of time. And you can just wipe all of them away and try on these $1 million thoughts instead. My clients are waiting for me. They want to work with me. People want to pay me. They are ready to get started, and they want it now. They are going to feel like they hit the jackpot when they start working with me. Again, all of these thoughts are available to you. All of these thoughts are available to you. In fact, I just released an episode that's called Your Clients Are Waiting for You, where I break down that thought and I actually prove it to you on why it is true. So if you haven't already listened to that episode, go listen to the previous episode called Your Clients Are Waiting for You. All right. So next, I love talking about this next category. The thoughts you have about your efforts as a coach, the effort that you are putting in to growing your business. Here are thoughts that are going to produce $0. Ready? Having the thoughts, this isn't working, or this won't work, or here's another one, this is just a waste of time. Oh my goodness. I've heard these so many times with coaches. And it's not your fault if you have any of these thoughts right now. The important thing is you become aware of it, you own it, and then you decide to shift it. So it's so key that you have thoughts about the effort you put into your business that are going to keep you moving forward. So here are some $1 million thoughts you can have instead. It's all working. Everything's moving me forward. Every action I take is moving me forward. It's all unfolding perfectly. The amount of value that I create will come back to me tenfold. So I want to share a story about this, about one of our amazing coaches who came to one of our business calls. And she was having some $0 thinking when it came to the effort that she was putting into her business. She thought that she was questioning whether her efforts were going to be worth it or whether it was going to be a waste of her time. And it was so amazing what she came up with when she started trying on these $1 million thoughts. And the one that really helped her was realizing that the amount of value that she creates is going to come back to her tenfold. So she was deciding to launch a TikTok account, and she said, you know what? I'm just going to believe that every TikTok that I produce is going to come back in the form of $5,000. So every TikTok that she puts out there is eventually going to earn her $5,000 in her business. Now, she didn't have the evidence of that yet. All she did, because she was just launching, she just had the thought. And she went from being so unsure about her efforts and doubtful and confused and worried to feeling inspired and energized and ready to get going. And she produced the TikTok account right away, like pretty much soon after that coaching call. She had the TikTok account created. She was making all these TikToks, and she's just on fire. She's rocking it. That is an example of how you could shift from $0 thinking to $1 million thinking, right? One of the signs that you're in $1 million thinking is when you are producing value so often and so freely, because you just know that it's going to come back to you tenfold. It's like you're just putting deposits in a little piggy bank, and you just keep putting value out into the world. You keep filling up that piggy bank, and eventually it's just going to grow so much, like when you have money invested and it just comes back to you and it's grown exponentially. But you've got to believe in that. When you don't have the results, you got to believe that that's going to happen. So those are results to have around your efforts. I also want to share with you one of my favorite thoughts to have around the effort you put into your business, and that is the thought that your success is inevitable. Your success is inevitable. Now, what happens when you think that your success is inevitable? What happens is your success becomes inevitable, right? Like think about your goal with your coaching business right now. What if you proceeded already believing that your success is inevitable? You don't have to have any clients yet. You don't have to have any money that you've earned yet. You just know, and you could just rest assured believing your success is inevitable. It's done. You know what happens? Your success becomes inevitable. That's the result you end up having because it's the thought that you started thinking when you were getting going. All right, let's go into the final category. So the final category is your thoughts about money. This is another big one. So $0 thinking is having very negative thoughts about money, like money's bad, money's evil. It's bad for you to take money from someone. If you take someone's money, you're making their life worse, or even just having the thought that you need money and you need clients. Very desperate type of energy, very graspy, and very much coming from a place of lack. So here are $1 million thoughts to have around money. Firstly, just having the thought money is neutral, right? Money is not good. It's not bad. It's just neutral. It's a neutral exchange of energy. It's an exchange of value. Okay? Another thought to have about money is when you receive money from your clients, you're making their life better because of all the value they're going to get from working with you. So sometimes coaches who are so gifted, they shy away from charging because they think that they're destroying their client's life when their client makes the investment to work with them. You've got to remember the value that they're going to receive. I just know that when I invest in coaching, it comes back to me tenfold. The ROI is tremendous when you invest in coaching in all areas of life. So your clients are going to get a tremendous ROI in their life. In all areas, their life's going to become so much better by making the investment, right? Like the emotional, the temporary pain or discomfort that comes from making the investment for them is nowhere near the pain that they're currently experiencing in their life without getting coaching, right? So is it worth it for them to have a little bit of discomfort investing in you in that moment so they can start creating their transformation? Absolutely worth it. And then finally, just having the thought that your needs are met. Your needs are met, right? Like when you can rest knowing that your needs are met, right? You've got a roof over your head, your bills are being paid. You don't show up to your business with this graspy, needy energy. You don't put that out there. You show up with a lot more calmness. And the openness to just receive from a place of abundance rather than from a place of lack. So I want to talk about the feelings that $0 thinking would produce in your coaching business. So if you have any of these $0 feelings, one good way that you can assess that is to look at what thoughts are creating those feelings. Which of the thoughts that I already shared could be producing these $0 feelings. $0 feelings: anxiety, doubt, shame, guilt, confusion, and impatience. These are all feelings that are going to repel clients: anxiety, doubt, shame, guilt, confusion, and impatience. Now, impatience is not the same as determination. Determination is very different. Impatience comes from this lack of faith that things are going to work out. It's like you're impatiently rushing because you are really afraid that you're going to fail, that it's not going to work out. Okay, so what are the actions that you might be taking in your business when you're having $0 thoughts and $0 feelings? Here are the different actions that you might be taking. So remember, if you're seeing any of these actions showing up for you right now, it just means you've got to peel back. You've got to see what are the thoughts that are holding you back. Maybe re-listen to this episode and see which of the thoughts are coming up for you. So the actions that people take when they're having $0 thinking about their coaching business. First of all, nothing. They don't do anything. They're taking minimal action, or they're doing lots of behind the scenes work. Like they're setting up shop, they're tinkering their website, their logo, their Facebook page. They're doing a lot of behind the scenes stuff, but they're meeting very few people. Another action that comes from $0 thinking is over-consuming information. Okay, over-consuming information about like maybe just consuming just different types of material about your specialty area or about how to run a business. You're just consuming other people's content, but you're not producing any of your own value. Another action is comparing yourself to other coaches. This is a big one. So when you're constantly studying what other coaches are doing, what other coaches are charging, you're following them, you're just stalking them, that's a sign that you've got some $0 thoughts running the show. Another sign is if you're waiting until you're feeling ready or comfortable to put yourself out there, waiting to feel ready or comfortable. Another sign is when you're undercharging or you're not charging at all. Okay? If you're undercharging or not charging at all, you've got some thoughts to work through. Another sign is if you feel like you need to convince people to work with you, right? There's no convincing that you ever need to do when you're growing your business. Nothing you have to prove, nothing you need to convince people of. Another action you might be taking is people pleasing when it comes to promoting yourself. You're trying to make yourself likable to everyone versus just serving the people that you're meant to serve. Okay, so how much are you people pleasing, looking to make everyone feel good and comfortable? Another action is if you're evaluating the things you're doing in your business from a black or white lens. So meaning you're doing an action and you're thinking, okay, that was either good or that was bad. Okay, so maybe you post on Instagram and no one engaged in your post and you just think, oh, well, that was terrible, rather than assessing it with a little bit more objectivity, which we'll talk about. And then the last action that you would take when you're having $0 thoughts is you don't invest in your business. You don't get coaching. You're not investing in your business. Okay, so you're not really seeing it as something, you don't believe in it enough to invest in it. Now, the result of having these actions is no clients, but it's all because of your thinking, right? You lack certainty about your business. You end up with minimal or no clients. So let's talk about $1 million emotions. $1 million emotions that are going to propel you forward. Calm, certain, clear, excited, patient, and determined. These are the emotions that you want running the show with your business. Calm, certain, clear, excited, determined, and patient. Right? All the $1 million thoughts I shared with you before will produce these feelings as long as you believe them. So here's how you show up to your business differently when you're thinking $1 million thoughts and when you're feeling $1 million emotions. Here's how you show up to your business differently. Notice how different this sounds from the way that someone might show up from $0 thinking. So firstly, you boldly put yourself out there. You share lots of value with people. You're just putting yourself out there and sharing value. Another way you'd show up to your business is you're meeting lots of people and you're making lots of offers to help them. You're so excited to just talk about coaching and you just love that you get to meet lots of people and talk about it. Another action is you balance your consuming time with your creating time. So you're not just consuming other people's content all day. You're not just scrolling through news feeds. You're actually balancing out the amount you consume and you are seeing yourself as a creator of value. You are putting value out into the world. Another action you'd take is you stay in your lane, meaning you're not hyper-focused on what other coaches are doing. You're just focused on what you're doing, the value you're creating, the people that you're meeting, and the impact that you're having with your business. Another action you'd take from $1 million thinking is you take actions in your business even when you don't feel comfortable or ready. That is key. You're starting things before you feel ready, before they're perfect, right? You're launching, you're putting yourself out there, you're producing value. You're not waiting until you feel comfortable to do it or when you feel ready to do it. You just go. You do it when you don't feel ready. Another action you'd take is you'd be charging a premium. You'd be charging a premium value for your coaching. And if you want to learn more about how and why to do this, I have a whole episode in the podcast called Being a Premium Coach. After this one, absolutely check that one out if you want to know all the ins and outs of how to charge a premium for your coaching, meaning charging upwards of $2,000, $5,000, or $10,000 per client. Another action you take is you talk confidently and proudly about being a coach, right? You wouldn't be trying to convince people to work with you, or you wouldn't talk about it with like a question mark at the end. Like, I'm a coach, or I'm kind of a coach, or I'm learning this coaching thing. You would just be able to own, I am a coach. And you'd convey the confidence that you have in that. You wouldn't feel any sense of embarrassment or shame about it. You would own it, and you just want to share it with people freely. Another action you'd take is you'd have your back on your opinion of you, rather than allowing other people's opinion of you to determine how you think about you. You just have your back about your opinion of you. And you allow others to just have their opinion of you too. You're not trying to battle their opinions or change their opinions. You're at peace knowing that everyone's going to have opinions. It's not your job to try to change their opinions. There's going to be people that like you. There's going to be people that don't like you. But what's more important is that you show up in service of those that want to receive it. Another action you take when you have $1 million thinking running the show is you evaluate all the actions you take in your business objectively, meaning you're learning from all the steps you take, from all the plans that you implement. You're not just writing off plans as good or bad, but you're really evaluating what went well about it, what didn't go well, what could go differently about it next time. And you're looking for the clues that come from each action you take. It's like everything you do, you're looking for the clues of what you can learn from that, how you could use the insights or the results of that action or that plan to then improve the next plan that you implement. So everything is a stepping stone rather than some things working and some things not working. It's all bringing you closer to having the results you want to have. And then the final action you take in your business when you have $1 million thinking is you invest in your business. You invest in coaching. You get mentorship and support. You don't just try to go at this alone. You actually start inviting mentors and coaches to guide you on the journey. You invest in your coach training. You get support so that way you can show up in the best possible way as a coach. Now, what do you think the result is? If you were to have $1 million thinking and you would have these $1 million emotions and you would take these $1 million actions, the result is you're going to have lots of clients. You're going to generate your $1 million business, right? That's how it works. It all starts with how you are thinking about you, how you're thinking about your marketing, what your thoughts are about people, your thoughts about the effort you put in, and your thoughts about money. So I want to bring you back to a prompt that I mentioned earlier. If you today imagine that you're earning $1 million as a coach, it's done. You check your bank account, you see that you've earned $1 million over the past year. What would be the thought you'd have about yourself? What would be the thoughts that you'd have? And how could you show up with those thoughts today? What does that inspire you to do? Right? Like what would you do differently if you just knew that your success is inevitable? That's what I got in this episode on $1 Million Thoughts. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one. Hey, would you like access to powerful coaching tools you can use on yourself and clients right away? For being a listener of the podcast, I'm giving you a VIP guest pass to get a sneak peek into my coach training program. Inside, you'll learn our coaches' secret tool they use to transform their clients' lives. And you'll also get a training on how to launch a coaching business. Just head over to www.thrivingcoachacademy.com/VIP to get started. I'll see you on the inside.